never bad to be early, except in death and taxes and some other things.
You free for breakfast tomorrow?
I cleared my morning. What's our next move?
Don't think I'll ever forget what happened here today. You will pay.
You destroyed our family? You happy now?
Is there anything else I can do for you?
Better Call Saul, season premiere, Monday, April 10th, only on AMC.
Look at this.
Hiya, kid. Does it work? Does it work? Hiya, kids.
Guys, congratulations on season 3. Thanks so much for being here.
Love to be here.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Now, 4 of you have been with the show for 2 seasons, and that's incredible, and I want to talk about your history with it. But Gus is here, guys. And
That's fair. That's fair.
pretty big fucking deal that Gus is here and that he's coming back to the show. Giancarlo Esposito, thank you so much for being here. What was it like when you got the call alerting you that Gus was coming back?
It was wonderful. I love this family of filmmakers. I feel like the writers are really fantastic. I love the actors. This, of course, is a very different show. My first question in my head was, how will Gus fit into this kind of show? After speaking to Vince, he assured me that they were going to maintain the integrity with which they wrote the character, and was very pleased that I was interested. So I'm really excited to be back.
Without giving away any spoilers, what can you say about how Gus does fit into the show?
Well, for me, it's like working backwards. For me, the biggest thing for me was not to be the stereotypical Gus when people stop me on the street and say this line, say this line. I'm so used to doing that, I can drop into it very, very, very easily. So for me...
You want to drop into it? I feel like they want you to drop into it right now because you just said that. I'm sorry.
Don't mess with me. I try to work backwards to figure out a Gus that is a little more vulnerable, a little less polished, a little younger, because we're going back in time, so that I have something to work on and cultivate as an actor.
One thing I love about this show is how meticulous to details it is. Rather than sort of developing plot very quickly, it's all about the minor things in between those plot moments. And I feel like that gives you guys as actors a lot to play with and a lot to do in scenes that you wouldn't normally get to do. Has it felt like that over the course of the last couple seasons and this season as well, Ray?
Yes. I'm done. No, thank you. The writers on the show are incredible, as everyone here is going to attest to. But they do, people think of Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould and everyone that works on the show as very, very meticulous, and you can see that in the product. And that's somehow true while simultaneously being true that there is room to breathe in the scenes and room for interpretation. And so for scenes like Bob and I have playing Jimmy and Kim, who've known each other 10 plus years, even in an 8 to 10 page dialogue scene that's beautifully written, you get there and they allow you to do multiple takes, 14 and 15 takes that are about performance and the different ways to interpret it, because you can't say anything that's just face value to someone you've known 10 years. You can't say, hey, let's go to the movies without them having a history of, you always pick shitty movies, I don't want to do this. But so we're able to, fill in the life that happens between the lines, which so often in business and romance, which all of these relationships are comprised of, it's more about what's not said. So we get to play that, and it's fun.
Well, sometimes it's not even about the dialogue that they're so meticulous with. It's sequences where characters are exploring physical things. Like in the first episode of the next season, without giving anything away, you have this incredible sequence where you're sort of pulling apart this car and trying to find something within it. And it's this extended sequence where you take everything apart, and the show doesn't take any moment of that for granted. How much of that were you actually... You want me to just get to the fucking question? Is that what you're doing right now?
Just get to the question. It's kind of a nice... Wait, let's get this straight. It's kind of a nice way to say, you didn't have any lines, did you? But when I hear things, I'm thinking about Giancarlo and working on being younger. If I work on being younger, oh, what a farce that is. I'm older. There's no way around it. I got older. And 14, 15 takes, just shoot me in the head.
You won't do it?
Anyway, whatever. I'm taking apart a car. What was the question?
How much of that did you actually shoot, and what was that sequence
like? Well, we were
like?
2 days in a junkyard. and taken a car to car, and it may have been, I don't know, it might have been 3 days. But it was, and there goes my phone. You hear it?
Oh
no,
that sounds like a car
that's
honking.
traffic. All right, yeah. I mean, it was great. I love being in that junkyard. That's my phone that honks.
What does that add to the character for you and as an actor, getting to do these things that aren't just about dialogue, but are about the sort of meticulous details that go into the story?
I don't know. I mean, I can tell you, I mean, Mike is obviously a stoic person and a silent person and a person who is not with other human beings very often. I love doing that. I love, and I do like the idea at times. It's a visual medium, it's visual art, and there we are. And the camera picks up everything, and I love the camera for that.
Patrick, you know, Howard this season, whether intentional or not, or maybe I misread it, it seems to me like he's kind of may become Chuck's conscience in a certain way. Is that true?
You know, I think Howard just wants to maintain the money faucet that is HHM. And so whatever he has to do to keep that open, he's willing to do.
And he's a little shocked at one point, though, in some of the new episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's been good at being blind about what's really going on around him for 2 seasons. But I think in this season, things have been like put in his face that he has to deal with. And I think Howard's somebody who doesn't really want to get his hands very dirty. And so consequently, the idea that he may have to go gardening is going to be a bad thing for him.
Michael, Nacho in this season is up close and personal, as we see in the cartel, but he's also kind of working with Mike. What can we expect from him?
Well, I think this has been. I hope you guys are going to like this season as much as we have shooting it. I think it's my favorite season, and hopefully the next one will be even better. But we're going to spend a lot more time with the character. We really get to break him in, get to spend time in his psychology, get to know what motivates him. So far, we've seen him as sort of this, you know, really intelligent, kind of stoic, calculating guy from afar. And now we're going to peek behind that and then get an exclusive look at a human being. And we're going to see someone who's maybe capable of unwavering loyalty and unconditional love, and who's probably willing to go the full 9 yards for what he believes in. And it was just a real, real blast.
Do they pitch you those ideas for the character before the season starts, or do you kind of show up and they've got scripts ready to go and you start going and just trust them on everything?
You know what's amazing about working with such incredible writers as Ray has said and Giancarlo is that you trust them 100%. We don't know what's going to happen, and it's fun like that because when you have a scene with another character, you know that even though they've broken down the scenes down the road, no one really knows for sure how those scenes and how those later episodes are going to be written. So you're living with this you're walking a tightrope not knowing what the consequences of your actions are going to be. So there's an element in there that's that heightens the stake for the characters, but also for you as an actor, because you really don't know if you rub someone the wrong way or someone rubs you the wrong way, what the consequences are going to be. And that's just such a joy to play.
The only thing I requested was that Gus Fring didn't have better looking suits than Howard Hamlin. That's the only thing I asked for.
I think you got your way on that one, considering
For now, you never know how it's going to cut.
So far. This week, AMC or the creators of Better Call Saul put out a video of Gus, an instructional video of Gus at Los Pollos Hermanos, teaching people how to work there.
Yes.
What was it like shooting that, and how did they present doing that to you? Is that going to factor into the show somehow, or was that just a fun thing for the internet?
Well, we were trying to figure out how to tease Gus's return, and so I suggested to AMC, maybe in the third week that I had gotten there, I've always wanted to make a cheesy commercial. So it all started with the cheesy commercial suggestion. And I thought, they're never going to do this. But I've got to just speak my mind and say what I think. It might be a great thing. Well, they flipped out. We did the commercial for Los Pollos Hermanos and Gus pushing his curly fries, a new product, really fantastic. And then it got extended. I said, well, what else can we do? And so we put our heads together, and it was like, well, how about the franchise? How about, training videos? How about hiring people, teaching them how to actually run a business? So it was really fun to do. Shot it in Austin, in my hometown, when I got home for 2 days off a plane, and really enjoyed it. And I saw the first one, and it's really effective. I mean, it should, serve to get all of you interested, involved in this very, very fledgling and very, very
Slowly dropping the accent
successful
there.
business.
Oh shit! You know what's interesting? You said cheesy, and I didn't see any nachos on that menu.
There weren't, because at this point in time, we're only pushing the curly fries.
Oh.
Only the curly fries.
The curly fries and, of course, the chicken. And we might get to the nachos.
You might get to the nachos at some point.
Maybe.
Expand the menu a little bit.
You said that you had to keep it secret. How long did you have to keep it secret that you were shooting Better Call
What
Saul?
a disaster. Can you come wearing a baseball cap? Can you not wear your hat? Can you look different than who you are? I said, guys, look, I'm who I am. I can certainly keep my head down and stay focused. Yeah, so 6 months in Albuquerque, not going to any of my favorite restaurants, staying inside, I'm very conscientious and very loyal, so I tried to honor not being seen.
But you got noticed a couple times in the airport, you said, right? And you had to lie to people?
Yeah, I just tell them, because the Ayurvedic Institute is there, and I go there to do cleanses and also learn about Ayurveda, sister science to yoga. So I would just carry my little Ayurvedic bag, and it has a stamped, wonderful logo of the Ayurvedic Institute. I'm just going to, take another course with Dr. Ladd, and that was my, my MO for the last 6 months. But kind of strange and weird.
I have a question. You didn't get to go to some of your favorite restaurants? These are the places that have seeds and millet and little rocks and stuff like that. I mean, God.
He's talking about the way Giancarlo eats, not the restaurants in Albuquerque.
Okay, yes, no, I did go to Annapurna, Jonathan, I can't lie. I'll come clean, but I sit in the corner.
That's the greatest laugh I've ever heard.
I sit in the corner and I eat my seeds and my nuts.
You never take me with you. And we got a beer there. That'd be good.
No, just some vata tea.
You're a superfood eater, basically, like a vegan superfood kind of thing?
Yeah, that's me, vegan superfood guy.
That's good. Getting hit up by the vegan superfoodists out there.
I just want to point out to you what has happened with vegan superfood. You have a child that is standing on its head in the chair. Oh, well, there she's hi.
He's a big fan of Better Call Saul and Mike over there, I think.
Well, that's good taste.
Or as she knows him, Pablo Picasso.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Jonathan? He's making fun of your hat.
I'm not making fun.
I mean, look at the
Picasso's a
kid.
artist.
Look at the kid.
Exactly, Van Gogh.
The kid
covering the
kid
1 year
to
he
get
lost.
The kid to get a part in his hair scarred himself, for God's sake. So why would I be worried about what he thinks?
What did he say? The kid what?
What's that thing? What's that you got going down the center of your head? What is that?
Thing over there?
Boys.
Sorry, I had no idea this was going to start.
No,
Sparks
it's
will
okay.
fly.
It's
good
okay.
for you. It's good.
Do you not like it, Jonathan?
I think
Does
it's.
it disturb you?
Yeah.
Do you find it disturbing, dear?
I find you disturbing, pal.
Oh, I'm behind
Tune in
you
this
right
season
here.
on Better Call Saul on AMC, premiering April 10th.
Ray, at this point, 3 seasons in, do you feel a bit of an ownership over Kim? Do you talk to the writers about what she's going to do or how you feel about how she would handle certain situations?
As they said, and I'm sure you've read as well, that our scripts come to us one at a time. There is not only are they not telling us an outline or a Bible, as they call it, for outlining an entire series, they don't have it themselves. They have a blueprint and things in mind, but they do let the show develop organically to some degree. So I couldn't go to them and, really comment on what I think she would do in the future. But they are very open to conversations. We have a lot of conversations about, and everybody from props to Jennifer Bryan, who does the amazing costumes. There are real conversations about who this person is. It's important to me to protect that she is somebody who's struggling to get a foothold in the middle class. So things like that matter to me in the integrity of the character. And for instance, her costumes, although they look navy blue and black suits, they're almost always mismatched because Jennifer Bryan said, I think she's still buying separates at Marshall's, but trying to pass it off as the nice suit, which I just love. That stuff is an amazing conversation to have with a costume designer. Not changing your jewelry, because none of the working women I grew up with were changing their bag and their jewelry for their outfits. No personal photos ever in Kim's office or her home, because I said, this is a woman who won't answer directly where she's from, and only once brought up her dad, and Jimmy was immediately shut down. I don't want people coming in my office saying, is that your sister? Like, I don't think she enjoys anybody asking her about her personal life. So we have that kind of interaction.
So Jimmy is kind of the only thing that she is sort of taking care of, or at least nurturing towards.
In some ways,
getting exhausted.
yeah,
with it a little bit,
they're both, you know, a little bit of a misanthrope, if you ask me, and they're kind of loners. And he is the least duplicitous person in her life. The pillars of justice surround her. I know.
Go
but,
easy. Go easy. Right here, right?
They all have ulterior motives and personal agendas that Jimmy pointed out to her all through season 2, which is another reason why I don't see it as a one-sided relationship. I think they both enlighten the other one, sometimes in very uncomfortable ways for Kim.
I'm going to open it up to the audience for some questions. Who has a question? Who has a microphone and a question? Right here.
Hi. Great show, by the way. I really love it.
Thank you.
My question's for Giancarlo and Jonathan. You kind of brushed upon the creative aspect of like working backwards and trying to portray your younger self. I just wanted to know what's like the physical aspect of that. Like, is there extra makeup involved? How does the lighting work? Is it a little bit harder to film in a younger version of yourself?
Well, you know, for me, you know, I can just take the gray out, take some gray out, but it's a mental attitude. You know, I work from a place of organic, inside, interior beginnings. So when I first started to do Gus on Breaking Bad, I didn't even develop his voice. It came from a whisper from the lines on the page. My biggest inspiration was hiding in plain sight, and that's what got me to do this role. You know, was hiding in plain sight. How many people do you know, you think you know well, who are your next door neighbors, or maybe even your relatives who are hiding in plain sight? They're doing something illicit, or they're doing something that you wouldn't approve of. So it was really about that self-discovery for me. For me, in my brain, if I'm thinking about a Gus who is pre-Breaking Bad, I'm thinking about someone who's not quite as confident, who may be just developing his whole demeanor in regard to how he's going to be the mastermind to actually have the cartel work better. So he's coming from a place where he just has a brain that works that way. So, but to make me younger, it's just a matter of thinking. I know that Jonathan says I'm just old when he, you know, and I can't be anything else. But I don't believe that about him either, because I see him in the gym in the morning, and he moves faster in the gym in the morning than he moves all of the rest of the day. So he's not old. He's just decided he's going to play old. So I hope I've answered some of your question. I also hope I've pissed him off really badly.
Mike, I don't think Mike is someone who ever, I mean, he'll get up, he likes to have personal hygiene that's clean, but he's never been, the concern about his looks, never. So wherever he was, and he has been in a dark place for a long time, he is who he is at any given moment. Now, Jonathan, when he has to do Mike, over the years, I've got a bad leg that's gone out on me. You know, I try to walk straight up and make sure that I'm not limping as I go down the walk and stuff like that. But I don't want to concentrate a lot. Mike has been Mike for a long time.
Next question.
Hi, huge fan. Got this shirt in Albuquerque,
nice shirt.
actually.
Great shirt.
Thank you. Two short questions. One, there was some posts online that Bryan Cranston was on set, and I was wondering if you guys could shed a little bit more light on that, and if maybe we were going to see a little bit more of Gus's children, because I know there was a small mention in Breaking Bad about that.
Cranston was trying to borrow money. And it wasn't pretty. I mean, he was going to the craft service people, he was out with the Teamsters, it was not good.
We did have an episode where you saw some photos on the wall of Gus's children when he was having, you know, a scene with Cranston cooking dinner. It's a possibility. I don't know. You know, it would be great to explore Gus's background in terms of how he got to where he is, but also, is he a family man? I've always thought that's a possibility, and he also could have a separate life even besides that. And that would be interesting to explore. I don't know if they'll do it or not.
Brian was there, by the way, Brian was there to promote his book at Bookworks. And his book is, what is it? All the I just read it, but the title, Parts of Me, All the
Unforgettable.
Parts.
All the parts of me.
It's a great book, though. And he was fun. And there was actually a really great clip behind-the-scenes video that they did. I think it's on AMC.com, right? It's definitely on
That's our
social
network,
media
yes.
for Better Call Saul. No, the behind-the-scenes thing where Brian visited the set.
Yes,
the
they
whole
did.
video.
It's
thing.
up there.
So it's funny, yeah.
I think I have time for one more question right there.
Hey guys, looking forward to the new season. With the addition of Gus, is there any other characters from the world of Breaking Bad that you guys want to see, make an appearance?
I think it being a prequel, I think we all are fans of Breaking Bad, and we all know where the show's heading the day we signed on, and we're all extremely excited about it. And as the years go by, we get closer and closer to Breaking Bad, and the possibilities of anyone and everyone on Breaking Bad showing up are just as real as bumping into anybody in Albuquerque. So I think we all extremely look forward to that. Just like Breaking Bad has welcomed us in such a loving way to that family, we'd like to welcome them back to the Better Call Saul family.
Jonathan, do you want to interview the girl in the audience?
I do.
Can we get her? Does she want to come up?
It's okay.
Are you sure?
Oh,
that's all right.
About being embarrassed too. You know what?
We don't want to embarrass her.
I don't want to. You don't make a little kid do what they don't want to do. But you're very beautiful, and I like you. I like the beads in your hair. They're great.
Jonathan normally wears beads in his hair.
I do.
The days when he had it to wear.
I was just trying to get your beads.
Guys, Better Call Saul premieres on AMC. When can people watch the premiere, the season 3 premiere?
April 10th.
Yes.
April 10th.
This Monday.
Season 3. Thank you so much for being here, guys. Thank you.
Thank you for showing up.